Thank you already for the introductions. I'm simply going to introduce myself very briefly, and then I'm going to pass over to our panel members. They will introduce themselves, and we're going to get right into today's topic. So my name, as you've already heard, is Yusuf Kissi. You can see me on screen here, as well as all our other panel members. And I run a business in the UK, Streamline AI, where we simply focus on 3 different intentions. Number 1 is helping businesses with AI strategy. Number 2 is upskilling teams and organizations so they understand how to use AI, essentially uplifting their AI literacy. And thirdly, we work on AI implementations, helping businesses to implement AI solutions that will either save them money and time or make them money and more time. So with that, I'm going to pass over to our next panel members, and they will introduce themselves as well. Please be very warm and welcoming for them as well.
Thank you, Yusuf. You have set a nice tone, and I can see the energy in the people sitting around. And it's, I believe these empty chairs, some AI bots are sitting, invisible bots. So I'm getting energy from the empty chairs also. Anyways, good evening, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Manish Chaturvedi. I'm founder and MD of Indus Strategy. It's an Indian-born but globally present investment banking, asset management, and wealth management company. We are headquartered in Mumbai, and we are present here in Dubai in DIFC. And we are present in US, UK. I mean, there are 3-4 global financial centers we are present. We do both. We have 2 verticals: advisory into corporate finance, where we do private equity, debt, and M&As, and we have investment wealth management. We have a fund based out of Mauritius, and it's a hedge fund structure. So, what brings AI here? What brings me here into this panel is basically I'm a learner. So trying to do an interactive session with you all over here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Rushali Moe. I'm from India. My company name is Regatta Consultancy Services. We are into human resource. We provide end-to-end HR solution for the startups and mid-sized companies. We are focusing on 3 elements again. One is CHRO services, where we help organization to scale up in terms of strategic planning and everything. We are into HRMS implementation, since we are in AI world and everything. There are a lot of talks going around about HRMS, ERP, ATS, and everything. So we help organization to implement and customize. And lastly, we work into HR audit domain, where we do gap analysis for the organizations who are going for the certification. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Hajar Al-Qasimi, Chief Digital and Data Officer, also a founder of financial technology firm in open finance, exactly. I'm also an advisor for the government. I cannot reveal what government, but 3 of them in the GCC. I'm doing the digital transformation, smart cities, and quantum communication. That's it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sanjay Tiwari. When we were having a pre-discussion as a group under Yusuf's leadership last week, I introduced myself as the dinosaur in the room. I'm that old. And you know, until 2 years ago, I couldn't even spell the word AI, even though it's a 2-letter word. But I run an edtech company in India based out of Bangalore. We have an Indian company and a Dutch company. And we're actually using AI to personalize the delivery of learning content to thousands and thousands of learners in countries such as India, but also in West Africa, and soon we hope in South Africa. Because as large as the education challenge is globally, we believe that the delivery needs to be hyper-personalized, and we think AI is a great tool to use to actually put that into effect. So that's what I hope to contribute to today. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you all for your introductions. To dive straight into this particular topic, how AI is redrawing the global startup map, to give some context to this, please raise your hand if you've heard of the name Silicon Valley. Raise your hand. Okay, brilliant. So that is pretty much everybody in the room. Now, prior to this evolution of technology with artificial intelligence, we used to have what we would call certain geographical restrictions as to where different hubs for technology could actually grow and develop. Nowadays, that is completely changed, and this leads us perfectly into our first question for the panel, which is, how has AI changed the traditional Silicon Valley model that used to rely on physical proximity and in-person collaboration? That is the first question for our panel.
Well, I believe that AI right now has shaken the ground under the old Silicon Valley. I can say that it has also decoupled the geography from the innovation. Technically, what Silicon Valley has provided before is just one grounded space. Everyone face-to-face, we can meet each other, we can create the product. The VCs are there, implemented in the US. Right now, two team members from different geography, from different places, they can build, they can scale, they can monetize their product. They have the accessibility to the data, they have the accessibility to the cloud infrastructure, they have the accessibility to any VCs, wherever they go. Even the VCs that they are supposed to be in Europe or in the US, they have what we call also the pool of talents. It was 100% focused in one region. Right now, we can find it everywhere. So technically speaking, what AI or what the old Silicon Valley has provided before, now AI is automatically and digitally replicating the same model. That's why I don't think that there's, okay, we can say that Silicon Valley is still there, but we have other Silicon Valleys, Dubai, Doha, Riyadh, London, India as well is, every single place in India is a new Silicon Valley. So this is what I am seeing from this perspective. I don't know if one of the panelists want to share his opinion with me.
Thank you. As you rightly said, the new Silicon Valley can be in Dubai, can be in Bangalore in India, or anywhere in the world. Because with the AI, not just venture capitalist or innovation or talent, it is everything, one click for all of us. Earlier, wherever the, talent is available, wherever the location-wise, geographical-wise, if the venture capitalist or fund-raising organizations are, innovation research were happening in those locations. Nowadays, this is all possible on the basis of AI. AI have tools where we can have the coding done, designing done. So innovation is pretty easier nowadays with the base of AI. Talent is all over the world, wherein you can operate on a based application, and you are very much easily able to produce the result that is expected out of it. So geographical barriers are not really mattering right now when we are in the world of AI and Silicon Valley. Can be anywhere. We have Sanjay from Bangalore. He can definitely talk about this on a larger scale.
Thanks. And I on the one hand, I agree with what you're saying, and both of you are saying. I mean, I run an ed tech company, and I have one colleague in Dar es Salaam. I mean, she's Indian, but she's in Dar es Salaam. I have a Lithuanian colleague in Thailand. I have a Dutch colleague in another part of Thailand, team in Netherlands. So yes, I agree. And that's very easy nowadays. On the other hand, I think there are certain ancillary aspects of what we define as Silicon Valley or any valley, which make the ecosystem work. So of course, capital, the hardware, and as you said, the hardware can be anywhere. But if you look at a place like Bangalore, and even the definition of a valley is now changing. So Bangalore is no longer just Bangalore, but it's Bangalore, Hyderabad, maybe parts of Chennai that together, if you like, form a valley. The people around it, not just capital, but also the whole knowledge industry around it has a huge impact. I went to a seminar in Bangalore a couple of months ago to learn about AI. There were 4 entrepreneurs sitting on a stage like this. They spoke for 3 hours. I can tell you, none of us in the room was bored for 1 minute in those 3 hours. It was a 3-hour intense discussion from these tech entrepreneurs, who obviously knew 10 times more than people like us did, about all the nuances of how they apply AI. So that I just would pose as a counterpoint or an additional point. That also helps to make the ecosystem. It's not just the hardware and the money, but it's also that knowledge economy around it, and finding a way to then tap into it. If you can't have it, you can't, sitting here, replicate the population density of Bangalore, neither should you want to, but how do you then tap into that in some shape or form? I would just like that.
Sanjay, thank you for that contribution, because it definitely brings up the next question, being that since geography in a way matters much less today than it used to, what are the real important factors with regards to AI today? Is it more so data? Is it the regulatory aspect of things? Is it the talent? Or is it something else entirely?
So if I have to answer this, then see, to me, the speed of adoption is very key in today's time, right? Because technology is its own, you can say, for a lot of right words, I can say enemy, because technology is eating technology, and day by day there are a lot of advancements which are happening, and there are so the velocity at which the adoption can be done that is one of the critical thing. The other important thing is, yes, capital is also very important when it comes to business. So these are the 2 critical points, what I can share.
Brilliant.
Anyone more?
Sure. Reshaping?
As Manish rightly said, what matters is the data security that matters nowadays. What matters is documentation and regulation matters more. We are going to be in a virtual world for our agreements and our deals and everything. But at the same time, the security point of view, this is important to be taken care of. So I can see on that.
Got it. Okay, so security is critical, of course, around AI. I mean, look, we've all seen the movies, right? You know which movies I'm talking about. iRobot, Terminator, so on and so forth. And that is a potential reality of a technology like AI. Of course, it's very disruptive. Although my awareness around AI so far is that we are already building in protections to ensure that AI stays on certain guardrails and along certain tracks, so that we don't end up in that kind of a destructive future, inshallah. So with that being said, and again, we've spoken about how the global rules are changing. I've recently heard of the Silicon Savannah, which is not the Silicon Valley. This is over in East Africa, in Kenya. And again, this is simply down to the fact that the rules have changed around what used to be required to start up a business, especially in technology. So the talent is there now, the infrastructure is there now, and it's no longer geographically locked to any particular country or location. And so thinking about this, when we look at different cities, for example, Dubai, Doha, Riyadh, London, and Singapore, even Bangalore as well, they're rising. And that begs the question, what are they doing and what are they getting right that is enabling them to continue to grow and develop so successfully from a technological perspective?
I think, for example, let's start from Dubai, the host. Dubai's advantage is very institutional and strategic. Most of the cities have capital and strategy as well, but they don't have the execution velocity. So what I am seeing that they are approving fast. They have the trust. They are building regulatories and industry for innovation in a very high speed. So it's not about who started first, but who is moving fast. So this is, for example, why Dubai is moving in this race in a very steady steps. If you have anything to add.
No, I just second her views because what Dubai is, they don't look at it from an ambition point of view. They look at it execution. No matter what cost it, they execute it. So yeah, I second your viewpoints.
Okay, so what I'm understanding is really a willingness to put your best foot forward and really make the most of these opportunities. Now, of course, we understand that AI didn't really kick off in this particular region. I think where AI really began to spring up, certainly from a company perspective, was in the United States. And so whilst the US may have been first with platforms like ChatGPT and Google Gemini, etc., this particular region right now is really leading the charge in how far AI is advancing, and it's fascinating. It's creating amazing opportunities all around the world. So with these particular hubs that are developing their own systems, is it the AI talent that they're developing internally, or are they attracting this kind of AI talent? And how much is global investment shifting towards these particular cities as well?
It is not only developing the talent independently going around, it is developing a talent as well as attracting the talent. Developing a talent is on the basis of software, attracting software and searching through ATS softwares and designing such softwares which will help organization to reduce their routine task of screening the CVs and coordinating the interviews and all. That's what the development part comes. In terms of attracting the talent, because it's a AI, it's a cloud-based application, it is even more easier for global talent to be a part of it. So it is together, it is going around. And in terms of shifting the, what's the second part of the question? Investments.
The investment that is shifting towards this region.
Yeah, in the beginning of the panel discussion, we have spoken about that Silicon Valley is not only related to the geographical area where the venture capitalists are. Across the globe, across the geographical areas, people are investing into the AI market, in AI tool developing another thing. So yes, it is not particularly limited to only US or only Europe or anywhere. Everywhere from the globe, people are willing to invest and people are investing, and that's how we are growing. Sanjay, would you like to?
I don't want to be contrarian, but I think so. I think these, Yusuf, these countries in this part of the world have a very programmatic approach, very systematic. In fact, I told you I was having coffee with a gentleman a few hours ago here, and he's working in the health ministry here, and part of their whole AI, leading the AI charge. So he gave an insight, very good insight into how they're leading the whole programmatic side of it. And coming from India, I was really envious of how systematic the whole thing is. The budgets are setting, it goes up, cascades up, and then rolls up and then cascades down. I thought, wow, if we could do that, be amazing, And I have no doubt that will attract capital and it will attract talent. I had coffee with a friend of mine last night from Bangalore, and he shifted his business from India to Dubai. It's based here now, because it's much easier for him to manage his global business from here, and he's combining his knowledge of AI and blockchain, running it from here. Another case in point. At the same time, the innovation is messy, and it's not programmatic. So I think for this part of the world, we're here, being hosted by here in Dubai, but the ability to balance the programmatic side with also giving people the freedom to innovate is super key. Some of the innovation, I told you where my team is located. One of my team members is located in Uttar Pradesh in North India, in a city famed for its criminality. I'll say it for the Indians in the room, a city called Bulandshahr. It's a city of gangsters. This stuff that he's coming up with, the innovative stuff with AI, is just incredible. So you also need to allow people to thrive, and that's super important. I think what this region will struggle with, unless it finds a different modus, is to also allow people sufficient freedom to innovate and move around. This same gentleman was saying these and these and these tools just aren't allowed in Dubai because the LLMs are not hosted here. That for people in India, Southeast Asia, Latin America, US, Europe is not an issue. They're juggling between 4 and 5 tools at the same time.
I got that. So because this particular region and Dubai has perhaps certain regulations that almost don't allow for the freedom of growth with some of these LLMs and AI programs, what you're saying is that it's perhaps easier in other spaces for AI and teams that are building with AI to grow and flourish without those restrictions. Got it. That ability to innovate elsewhere that may not be present here. I guess that does bring us on to other questions that may be on our minds right now, which is we've all been present to the fact that Dubai as a city and of course the UAE as a country is very much a very forward-thinking nation. And that is evidenced by just how much this country has transformed over the last 30, 40 years. It was literally a desert, and now it's one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world, right? And so we're all present to that being a great strength of Dubai's. I guess the next question is, in this AI race, what is it that Dubai has as other strengths that other technological hubs cannot easily copy?
So, to my mind, Dubai has. It's yesterday I was also speaking. It's a global diaspora, and the population over here is very youth population. There are 200 nationalities, right? And it offers such a thriving kind of a business environment, the lifestyles. That talent it is creating an environment that talent is coming over here. They are attracting the talent over here, right? So, and the kind of a geographical location which it has means, although in the AI thing, the geographies are not limitations, the boundaries are blurred, but still for humans, if they have to travel out of their nations and have to settle over there for a better life, a better business environment, for better innovation hubs, the ecosystem what this country is providing, the capital, the institutional capital, the innovation centers, the adoption at a very faster pace, the regulations, that is actually attracting and even developing the talent, which is very much important over here, right? That is what my views are.
Yeah, I can say also it's kind of governmental operating system and the leadership. Both of them, they are not, you cannot copy this culture. It's unique for Dubai. They have a very, I cannot say more than unique. It's a unique thing, culture for UAE itself. Regulatory openness. Yes, there is a little bit of challenges because it is a little bit fragmented. So I can speak from my point of view because I have an open finance fintech. So where I'm supposed to be located here or in Abu Dhabi or Al Ain or any other emirate. So, but from a leadership perspective, it is a top notch. Yeah.
Got it. You know, I want to ask another question really off the back of that, because I understand that Sanjay, his background has enabled him to work in, I believe, 3 different continents around the world. And a significant part of being able to work geographically and in different spaces is, of course, leadership. And so what I would love, Sanjay, please elaborate on this, or any members of the panel as well. How much do you believe that leadership contributes to innovation being able to actually thrive in different spaces?
Sorry, Yusuf, you mean leadership at a governmental level? Is that the kind of...
Exactly
Yeah.
that, yes.
Regulations.
Yeah. No, so I absolutely, and I think Haya was also just talking about it, what Dubai does and other countries in the region do incredibly well is set, a goal and then work towards it, or rather work backwards from it. I grew up for part of my life in the Netherlands. The Dutch are highly innovative, but they're also great believers in letting people get on with things. I think the UK, your home country, is actually a good example of a country that's taking, despite being a very traditional economy, taking a programmatic approach. So my company got selected for something they call the Global Entrepreneurship Program, GEP, and they select 15 or 20 companies around the world every year to be part of that program. And the fact that they have that, and I've been on these, these calls that they do with us every couple of weeks, a whole lot of women entrepreneurs coming from Turkey, coming from Central America, setting up their businesses in the UK, tech entrepreneurs, etc., super smart people. So I think that's an example of leadership under the radar, because you won't hear Keir Starmer talking about that too often, but somebody in the department is busy doing this. I think that's great. That programmatic approach, but then still with the freedom to innovate, etc. I think that's a great example. Singapore, again, is probably more similar to Dubai, in terms of its approach. India, it's very often difficult to recognize the method behind the madness, but there is a method behind the madness, and we have states competing against each other. So that competition between states in India is something that's very healthy for the ecosystem as a whole. As I'm sure in the GCC, you have actually Emirates competing against each other, and that's good for the ecosystem as a whole. Ultimately,
Healthy, yeah.
It's very healthy, because it ultimately, somebody may not be here, but may go to Oman or go to Abu Dhabi, but ultimately it still benefits the ecosystem as a whole without trying to regulate it too much. Yeah.
Brilliant, excellent. A question for the females on the panel, and again, this is an inspired question, really, is given the fact that we are in now, of course, a very global marketplace, what would you say is important from the perspective of being a female leader building with AI? What is important for us as an audience, in fact, to understand about the role of female leadership when it comes to building with AI and innovation?
Don't ask me this question. I'm very feminist
Let's
at this
open
level.
that can of worms, very briefly.
Okay. How important it is, or what is the question exactly? Because I'm still a little bit confused. Being a female in AI world is something normal. I don't think it's something strange or why I'm supposed to be here. This is what I am seeing sometimes in the eyes of when I'm entering a room full of gentlemen. They are leading in the government, for example. As I said, I'm part of the government advisory bureau. Almost I'm the only female in the room, especially speaking about financial technology or quantum communication strategy or something in a very high level, artificial intelligence applied on quantum. Our presence is normal. I don't feel like it is supposed to be questioned or discussed. It is what it is.
Excellent. Vishwali?
Yeah, as rightly said, AI, who's sitting behind the computer and doing what doesn't matter whether it's a male or a female. So, we have female entrepreneurs, we have female leaders who are leading the world, and there are n number of examples in the room. Since yesterday, we have seen a lot of female leaders leading their organizational beautifully, founders who are doing businesses across the world and conquering the world. So I really don't see that we are at the phase where we really have to be talking about, how we are making ourselves visible in the world. But we are where we are today in the panel. We are two females sitting from two different countries talking about AI, talking about human intervention, talking about human resource, talking about, guiding and designing strategies for the organizations. So it says it all, right, Yusuf?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you both for your perspectives, and myself being in the AI space as well, what I'm present to is the fact that AI is much like a digital or a virtual mirror. And so inherently, AI is of course based and trained on data, and data is reflective of society. And I think we can all be present to the fact that society isn't necessarily entirely equal or fair. And so the same biases that we might see in society are inherently reflected inside of AI programs as well. Hence why my personal belief is that whether it be females or whether it be any other kind of a demographic, it is critical to ensure that we do have a much more holistic approach towards building AI models such that the kind of outputs that we get from AI are going to be reflective of the ideals that we would like to create moving forward. So on to the next question. Should the region focus more on AI research or should the region focus more on AI research or a fast adoption in other sectors like energy, logistics, and finance?
I think it should be a balanced approach. Of course, the adoption without research is of no use, and research without adoption. So they go hand in hand. But to dive deep and to create a depth in the ecosystem, of course, research should be promoted, and there has to be a research, and there cannot be a situation. And to make it useful, to make it business utility, there should be an adoption. So it has to be a very fine, balanced. They go hand in hand.
Got it. Excellent. So will the future have one leading tech hub or a connected global network of different AI hubs? Manish, I understand again you have a global business with near enough around 100 employees. What is your perspective, or what can you lend us from your experience of building globally around how you think that we may have different AI hubs springing up in different locations or in one location? What is your perspective on that?
So see, now basically it's not AI, it's already the technology adoptions over a few decades is making boundaries blur, and now more so with the AI, it has taken a very, you can say, a lively facet of it, right? Earlier the technology was passive and it was at a back end, but then this the AI has given a life to it, right? An intelligence to it, right? So now the machines are speaking to each other without human intervention, without any time restrictions and all, right? So and that's because, see, this thing is because of the basic genesis of it. Now there is not any specific zones, or like we call it, as we started with the Silicon Valley and all. Yes, there are so many hubs across the globe, and they're basically coming up with their inherent whatever the ingredients or the pillars required for the thriving environment, like the talent, the policy, the capital over there, the technology backbone, the infrastructure of the technology, and of course then the utility for it, the adoption for it. So wherever such kind of ecosystems are available, these hubs are growing up. Of course, it has started from the West, then this part of the Asia, which includes even the UAE, the Saudi, the Qatar. They're taking up at a very advanced level. Then in this other parts of the Asia, like India and the Singapore, they're quite. India is mature in towards the core technologies. Singapore in various regulations, the capital, And then, of course, the other part, if we have to speak about about the Europe and the US, then of course US is always a pioneer, but then Europe is of course, and where London is championing, and the other parts towards the safety, security. And so there are a lot of hubs, and each hub is playing its own role depending upon the basic ingredients what these locations are able to offer. So there will be multiple hubs. They are coexisting at the same time, and they'll thrive. Yeah.
Brilliant. I can say for sure with
Sorry, so then I mean, I'll if I can push back a little bit. I mean, I agree there'll be multiple hubs around the world, but there are certain places where people, for example, will typically not want to be. So if you take, we look at India from the outside. India's, doing this in technology. In India, and I used to live in Mumbai for 12 years. But if you today are in the business of recruiting young tech people and say give them an option between Mumbai and Bangalore, or Mumbai and Hyderabad, or Mumbai, they will not go to Mumbai. Because they'll any day. And why? A, difficult to live, and B, if they go to Bangalore, they lose their job. The very next day they have something else. So you will have preferred hubs. And places where people will not go within the UK. London, absolutely for tech, right? People are not going to Liverpool or Birmingham anytime soon for tech. There may be tech application, but they're not going to gravitate towards those cities to that extent. Within the United States, a particular place, Elon Musk may put up a data center there, but that's not necessarily where people are going to sit and live next to that thing and saying, I'll build a life here. So there are going to be places that will get not discarded, but disqualified because they're simply not part of that economy anymore. And in India, Mumbai's, our financial capital, but it's not our tech capital, and it's not going to be anytime soon.
I got that. That's a fascinating point because, of course, from a perspective of looking at new technology, sometimes we also forget that it's human beings that are behind every piece of innovative technology. And people being people, we still have our creature comforts and our desires to want to live good lives in and around the work that we get to do. So bringing it back again to Dubai, if we are looking at Dubai and the biggest barriers that Dubai might be facing towards more growth over the next 3 to 5 years, which are the barriers that Dubai must overcome? Would it be talent, risk appetite, or something else?
Well, from my experience, I can say 2 points. Maybe the regulations. Number one, we need a national framework for all the regulations that we have: fintech, education, technologies, health tech, gov tech. This kind of diversity of regulations is a little bit frustrating for any startup to come or for Dubai to be the number one hub. That's number one. Number two, which is some of the startups, they are supposed to be regulated, some others they are not. But for the regulated, do we have a fast track sandbox to license in few months? Startups, they don't have a lot of money in the very beginning. They are spending a lot of money on operations and waiting for the license 3, 6, 9 months, sometimes 1 year or plus. This is a little bit also hindering the progress. So I'm just bringing things from my own experience. I'm not sure if the lady and the gentleman, they have another. No.
Only one point I can add over here is that if Dubai has to thrive, and a risk is about data. There are in certain regulations, Dubai has a secrecy on some data or some applications which are not so much available. So for the research or for the utility purpose over here, I think they have to open up, of course, in a disciplined way.
From the talent point of view, I would like to, say something, as in technology-related research needs to have the talent with a tech background. So Dubai, I'm not 100% sure about, but yes, more of an education and talent with that kind of a mindset is required here. Secondly, infrastructure. For AI-related infrastructure, that is one more challenge which probably need to be looked at. That's what my points are.
Excellent. Thank you for your reflections. If we were to leave the audience with one take-home message in relation to how the audience, as founders, can build with AI, be that in Dubai or elsewhere, what is the best advice that we would offer them to be able to go ahead and start building with AI in and around what they're currently doing in their operations?
No, I think in the beginning only I said that we all should match the speed with which the AI world is moving. So speed is very key over here, apart from, of course, a lot of things. Yeah.
Move fast and strategically.
Anything else? Any last takeaways? Okay. What?
Yeah, I mean, I was joking about being new to the, being a dinosaur, but what we had to do is we had to educate ourselves. And you see all these, so we had to really take a lot of time to understand what AI can do for us. So we're in the education business, and there are certain things for which you don't need AI. You do repetitive tasks. You don't need AI for that, right? So we're using the models that we have built now is to use it in the education space, as I said, to deliver personalized advice to people. And truly because we're working with such incredibly large data sets to say which skills will be applicable over hundreds, if not thousands of jobs. That's relevant. But it took us a long time to get that understanding that could be a good application. So I would also say, yes, move fast, but also really understand what you're doing, as opposed to putting a Band-Aid on something. So, well, AI covered, now what's the next thing? Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you for that as well. To wrap up, I would leave us all with the message of encouraging us to fail. Now, you might be thinking, wait, why is Yusuf encouraging us all to fail? Here's what I mean by failing. I believe as entrepreneurs and as founders, we should fail, and we should fail fast. Now, by fail, it's an acronym that is easy to remember, being failing, or FAIL, is your first attempt in learning. And as Sanjay said, we have to focus on education and moving quickly. The quicker that we can learn from our failures, and then, of course, invest the experience of those lessons into our next actions, the further we can move with this incredible technology, AI, which is moving at a blistering pace. So fail fast, fail forward, and continue to learn and apply in your next steps moving forward.
Just to add to your acronym of FAIL, so FAIL itself says fast AI learning.
Love that.
Just regarding your acronym that you have put for FAIL, I started 2020, now we are 2025. I failed once, now I have two growing business. So 3 times, 1 fail, 2 growing up. So yes, please fail fast as much as you can.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being a great audience. And thank you for our incredible panel as well. Any questions? Do we have time? Well, we do have time for questions. Brilliant.
I really appreciate the great in-depth of this thing. I want to ask you this. It has also been said that AI also has its negative side in terms of causing huge disruption in the society. And they say that in the immediate future, 5 to 7, 10 years, is going to cause a lot of social upheaval. I would like to know this awesome panel to throw light on this, and what can we do in order to prevent the social upheaval?
The social upheaval. Please expand on what you mean by the social upheaval.
Yeah, what I mean to say is, there's going to be, as you know, job losses. There is going to be many of the small and medium enterprises may just become obsolete, and that again is going to cause a lot of unemployment. And all these are social upheavals, which are already a documented fact, and which we should not try to avoid.
Excellent.
Yeah, what you said is rightly correct. But with AI, if you learn to use AI for upscaling yourself and doing your job, doing your task with utmost precision, you are less likely to lose your job. There are a couple of technical roles which are not going to go anywhere. So yes, if as panelists said, grow fast, grow strategically. So if you know what AI is doing for your role, go learn, do implement, go fail, and redo it again. This is important. If you sit back and say that AI is nothing to do with my role, AI is nothing to do to my job, probably that's a red flag, I would say. Understand the world around you, and this is going to happen. Let's face it, let's understand. With the AI, there are a lot of opportunities coming up for the startups. And in last 2 days, I have been seeing that 18-year-old, 15-year-old, 17-year-old, they are starting their businesses with the help of AI. So probably future generations and Gen Z generation, they already have the answers to their questions with AI. So what important is people like us who are somewhere in the transition need to think about and need to learn. That's what my answer to this. I hope I answered you.
Yeah, just to
Yes.
add, basically, you're right, I'm with you, where this social upheaval, but that is as what Vishali just ended with. So there's a total transition of a generation shift which is happening. And in times to come, the generation will be native AI, right? So once that will happen, automatically this all problem will never be a social problem. So it's a transition phase, we have to live with it. And whenever such transition happens, we have witnessed in past, these questions have come up. There are ethical and unethical things which keeps on happening, but that's how the bird moves.
I'm habitually an optimist, but there is a book that I suggest everyone reads, because none of us is an expert. Well, you may be, but the rest of us aren't. There's a book called The Coming Wave by a gentleman called Mustafa Suleyman. It was on Bill Gates's top list of last year, so it's taken me a year to almost finish it. He reads faster. Please read this book, The Coming Wave. It paints a very dystopian picture of the future. It's not pleasant, and this is a man who's been in AI for the last 15 to 20 years, right? So a lot of things, unfortunately, we don't have a solution for. I mean, it's not that, oh yeah, the kid's born now will grow up in AI, therefore they'll be okay with it. Yeah, it's not that rosy a future. And this is a man who's helped invent AI.
The author was Mustafa Suleyman, and the name of the book once more?
The Coming Wave.
The Coming Wave by Mustafa Suleyman.
He's a British-Syrian gentleman, and
Excellent. Shall we take
Yeah, but I have a contrary view to it. We'll discuss, because see, even if our grandparents, they see that we don't live in a right manner, right? So I feel that as a grandfather view. That's the contrary view.
Next question, please.
Next
Thank
question,
you.
please. Thank you.
I have an observation and a question. Yusuf, I think you saved your neck by putting together the faith in a very positive, hopeful way. But what I have noticed that do not put the AI competition between AI-driven female and AI-driven males. I think women has been in leadership unquestionably over many, many years to go. So I really commend Suman and Hajar for putting together that it does not really make any difference between who is sitting behind the computer, who is doing the AI, and who is not doing the AI. So that's really something. My question, and to Hajar, thank you very much for putting together a remarkable statement. She said, inimitable culture. With AI, I think we are going to move into a very sophisticated digital leadership. So how do we make sure that we convince? Because culture is a buzzword. Everybody says it's a culture. I mean, I lead a company and we specialize in culture transformation. One of the most difficult things when it comes to rituals, to values, to really putting together the behavioral model in day-to-day activities. And when we say culture transformation, everybody gets excited over the table. But when we challenge them for something, like for example, I asked a question to a gentleman who happens to be, for example, a chairman or a board member, whom you would like to see next to you. Is it Hatem Shihab, which is my name? No. How come? I mean, you say that he's a talented person. Yeah, but you know, he has so many other things. Okay, so my question, not necessarily I want to volunteer you, Hajar, but I would like to capitalize on this. How do we institute a culture within the AI environment demanding a special type of leadership, which is actually very digitized type of leadership? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. It's a huge, big one. I need another session to finalize all the points, but I will take it from a one perspective, which is the change management.
Yeah.
Do you have a change management framework in your company? It's a yes or no question. Start from that point.
Yeah.
First of all, let's start from people, then your data, then your infra, then all the applications, and get the resilience phases implemented at each level, but start with the very important layer, which is people. You have to switch that button to on every single time. This is what we are supposed to do. This is what we need. This is the as is. This is where we want to be. And here you will fail. Here you will lose your capabilities and skills and someone else will come with those skills and do it. That's why I said in the leadership of Dubai, they have a very beautiful operational system, and governmental operational system. They started from people. They even created a ministry for AI. This is how the change is. Put it as your number one objective in your OKRs, in your strategy from day one. People, they have to deal with it as oxygen. It's not only a necessity. It's the day-to-day thing to live with. People, they need to understand that AI is not anymore something strange or something that it will take my place. I will be replaced by whatever person because he has those skills. Everyone, I encourage every single person in my team. I have multiple teams everywhere. I have in France, I have in Singapore, I have in Qatar, Dubai, KSA, local expats. Please use whatever you can do. Tell me what is the tool that needs AI, and will do the subscription, enterprise subscription for you to help you, to support you. You will not, don't be afraid. You will not lose your job. This is an upgrade in your ability, capabilities, what is in the market. You will bring something better for me. So start by the change management. It's more corporate thinking. Change management is supposed to be there from day one. Your strategy, your OKRs, AI is number one. How we will apply it. Do your, what we call map your strategy with your change management status. Your KPIs, who is supposed to do what, trainings, people they need to understand and figure out what they need from AI exactly, each department, each maybe key person in your company. And here it starts to create the culture. People, they will think and will give you, oh, this is what happened for me, for example, for the latest project that I started in quantum communication. People, they don't, oh no, this is a very difficult and a very high level strategic and national level project. We cannot, we need some people coming from quantum physics and quantum computing. No, doesn't need that much of knowledge. Use AI, bring me a strategy, a very light strategy. Think strategically, think in a way, how can I do it in a fast way, bringing the same objectives on table, black on white. So start from change management, that's it. Put it as number one OKR you want to see, and map it with your KPIs, whether from academic level or learning or wherever you are training, for example, in your team. Try to implement this sessions, workshops, propose to your team or to your organization what is the next thing that you need to do using the AI, whether it's a tool, whether it's a new functionality, operational level. Think about it. I don't know what is the industry that you are working in, but this is my suggestion for you.
Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Last question, please.
Hello. Okay, so since I am the founder of a real estate data analytics firm in India, so my question in the backdrop of how AI is redrawing the global startup map would be pertaining to the scalability of AI product. Now, any AI product across the world, and for that matter, the SaaS-based product has got majorly two things. Though there is data modeling and all those things, since I am a mathematician by interest. So one is the proprietary data, second is the workflow automation. Now, when we say that, we have developed a product in India which would solve the real estate data intelligence problem for the banks, for the real estate developer, for the institutional investor, and so on and so forth. So considering this use case in specific or AI ecosystem in general, don't you think that the problem of scalability would come, since every product based on the proprietary data has to do lot of data research specific to that country, specific to that industry, as per the expectation of the customer, I would say as per the need of the customer or the stakeholder. So how do we solve the problem of scalability, since workflow automation can be scalable, but proprietary data is not scalable? Data which is relevant for India cannot be relevant for Dubai. Okay, so founder, my question is this, founder or an organization, how can they solve, what must be the fundamental parameter they should look at when they want to launch their AI product in a new geography, considering the ecosystem of the market? And since Manish sir has very rightly told that research and adoption goes hand in hand, so research would be happening in the organization, but then the adoption of the market will be something which we as an organization need to look at. So
I don't know if Manish wants to take this first.
I just want to ask how many questions it was. It was
Yeah, so
all other
That's how
things
many
was the
questions.
context.
Don't worry,
The question was only one, the scalability. The context
Scalab-
is very important, since I'm selfish enough being a founder to get answer to my
great.
questions. Right.
That's super.
if I've rightly understood, your question is, you're saying that if your whatever your business model based on India, it is, and if you want to scale to new geographies, what parameter you need to keep in mind if the model is Right,
Yes,
right.
if we scale it
basically-
to the new market,
yeah,
what parameters?
So basically, see, in any business or in any startup things and all, see, for the hack of any automation or artificial use of artificial intelligence, there is no use. There has to be a core business need, right? So if you're going to scaling up to new geography, whether you have to just first work out whether it's still a pain point in that geography, or maybe for that geography that could not be a pain point, right? So business, what tech-enabled business, where AI and all of these things are coming, they are there to solve the problem which otherwise in non-tech or non-AI world were not able to be solved, right? So it's a very basic thing. What in very simple words I understand is that you need to see that if you have to scale it, and so data, basically data is a oil for the engine is an AI, right? So if you're going for your business to UAE or Saudi or for west part of the world, you have to first see whether the market dynamics of your business model, wherever you have thrived, whether they are same or not, and you have to pivot your strategies according to that micro market. So you have to do a little bit of business model pivoting in those micro markets, and have to create and scale as per the pains available in that market, and have to provide the solution accordingly. I don't know whether I'll be able to explain you or not.
You have explained it.
From an
Thank you.
organizational level, I mean, corporate or, I don't know, like, let's say a consulting firm like McKinsey or whatever. What we do is we are just partnering with other agencies that they have data. This is how we get scalable in our models. This is how we get the data. Easy.
And I think that is the problem
We
which
are
I am. I
buying
mean,
it,
that is
paying
the
for
solution
it.
which I am trying to adopt, since you just need to plug in the data, and the workflow
Absolutely.
automation is scalable across the
There's
world.
a lot
right?
of agencies, private agencies, they are collecting data. How? I don't know. Why? None of my business. But whenever I need the data to test my model, this is what I am doing. One email and the data is here, and the model is functioning. Regarding the small, or for example SMEs, or if you don't have data, you need to wait until you get the customers or the data flow working in your system, and then move to the AI level to analyze, to predict, to do this, whatever you want to do with it. But from organization level, this is how we fix the scalability level.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I think on this note, we're going to wrap up. Thank you. That was an amazing panel session. Yusuf, you were great as a moderator, and all the panelists. Thank you so much. Round of applause for everyone.
Alhamdulillah.